Hey everybody, welcome to a kind of impromptu episode of My Sixth Sense. I kind of wanted to get on here. I've been meaning to do this I don't know, the last couple of days. We approached on and passed Trump's first 100 days. And my last episode that's going to be released this coming Monday, we talked to the weird Canadian Cody, who kind of went over the election in Canada. I got a lot of grief for a graph that I showed on Facebook about kind of what led to Canada's election results, which I definitely want to get into among the other thing, which is, kind of, I wouldn't say a report card for Trump, but maybe a little bit of that. Trump's first 100 days, I guess that's where we'll start. I voted for Trump. I felt like he was, and I still feel like he still is the best of the two candidates. That's just how I feel. I guess it's not, I don't know. I say everything's open to debate, but it was very difficult when you have two choices and one is Donald Trump and the other one is Kamala Harris. He made a lot of promises that his base, like including myself being kind of a libertarian myself, really, really, really enjoyed. No foreign wars, remove ourselves from the Middle East entirely, lower prices, secure the border, cut spending. These are all things that are necessary for this country to survive. So with that being said, really, of all of those things that were my mainstays for voting for him, the only thing that he really has done outside of just kind of talk a whole bunch is the border. The border is inevitably, and not inevitably, objectively is the word, secure. We have gone to the lowest entries in I don't know how many years. He's talking about mass deportations. That's not taking place. That's not happening. The El Salvadorian man that was in Maryland, that's up for debate as to whether that is correct or not. But mass deportations are not happening. Not on the level that Obama deported his deportation numbers. Now, for the spending, I was very happy that Doge was going to be a thing. The government is too large, too many entrenched bureaucrats, the deep state. That was another thing too. Dislodging the deep state and the snakes and the longtime bureaucrats that plague DC. And really are just doing it for their own greed and selfishness. But Doge was a very important idea. I compare this much to a large company that gets too big and realizes they have to downsize. So they call in consultants, and the consultants come in and say, hey, this is really where you need to trim the fat, they might say. And so the company downsizes, releases employees or maybe, downsizes their research and development aspects, whatever it may be. As unfortunate as it is to let people go and to downsize, it's something that is one of the only things that companies can do to stay profitable sometimes and stay relevant and have the money to move forward and innovate. And our government has gotten completely and utterly out of control, and that's due to our own policies. We will return to that in just a little bit. We have put ourselves there. We have voted in a way that enabled these people to continually lie us into conflicts. Not got it wrong. I did this again. There is a big difference between got it wrong and lying. And just, or like COVID policy, just, it's our responsibility. It's their responsibility, and no one is being held accountable for. In fact, most of them get promoted. In DC, you fail up. It's the strangest thing. And we allow that to happen. We allow these entrenched bureaucrats to run. There is no way to really get rid of them. That's the problem, And I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. Are they too entrenched? Is it too big? Is it something that we're not going to be able to protest or not be able to vote? I don't necessarily know the answer to that. But when it came to Doge, I was excited. And when Elon Musk, who, if he wanted all the claims were so stupid. I mean, really, I don't want to be mean, but they were all stupid. Access to your social security information. PayPal, he would have had it already. He's one of the richest men on the planet. He doesn't need your social security numbers. And who cares? Who cares? It was the strangest thing. People don't want government contracts that send random money to the Taliban to be ended. I don't understand. Or we don't, as a country, we don't want to know where our money is going. And in turn, when they say we don't have enough money to, help you when your house has been burned to the ground or flooded and underwater, but then yet we see them sending money, billions of dollars overseas. It's just strange. It's not even a dilemma. It's just a strange statement. Just the simple idea, you don't even have to call it Doge, but the simple idea of lessen our spending and pay down our debt is the only way we get out of this. That's it. Now, here's the thing. Doge is great, but what in the world, when we cut all of the stuff, we're going to save what, $1 trillion, $2 trillion? That was the whole thing. Okay, but then you just spend it again. It doesn't make any sense to me. Great, we made those cuts, and then the continuing CR just not only refunded almost everything they cut, but spent more money on our defense bill, and he boasts about it. I definitely did not. I did not vote. I did not vote for that. I voted for, like I said. I mean, I'm not going to repeat myself, but I voted for less government spending, and Doge was a great start. And yeah, it's only a couple million. It's more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime, and it just needs to start there. And it is terrifying when Elon Musk gets on Joe Rogan and talks about how he is afraid of being assassinated. It's crazy to me that might even be true. Like, who knows? But you're telling me the richest man in the world is afraid for his safety if he divulges certain things? We are too deep in this. And I call it weaponized empathy when, they show the faces of the people that are getting fired, or laid off. It does. It's tough. It's tough to have a job and lose it. We've all experienced it. But who are we blaming? Trump for cutting the jobs, or for the last 15 presidents who allowed us to get to the point where this is something we need to do to stay sustainable? Sure, blame Trump for spending all that money. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then getting mad at Thomas Massey for standing up to him, being like, there is no reason that we should sign this bill. It does nothing but refund everything you cut. There's no sense in having Doge. It's kind of just, it's like banging your head on the wall over and over. No new wars. We didn't end Ukraine. In fact, in early March, we started sending them more weaponry. That doesn't make any sense to me. He said day one, we're still working on it. We're still sending billions of dollars to Israel. That's insane. Israel absolutely has a right to exist, just not on our dime. We don't have money to be giving these people. We are broke. We have so many problems here. The border, right? We can talk about an A+ grade there. Again, all these things that he says. I said this on Facebook earlier, is talk is very cheap. And that's a lot of what Trump does. There is no mass deportations. The border is secure. We can say that for sure, just based objective data, as opposed to the last administration that just had the doors wide open for whatever reason. You guys can sort that out on your own. Trump has said a lot of things. That he just prices of goods. That was never going to happen. Doing away with the income tax if you're making less than $2,000. Yeah, it sounds great, but what he's doing is he's just saying things to make it, he's never going to. I'd like to be wrong. I don't think I am. I agree with a lot of other people about that. The income tax isn't going away. And now, for whatever reason, we're flirting with bombing Iran, and that doesn't make any sense to me. And another annoying part that Dave Smith and Robbie pointed out, which I kind of forgot about, because again, even though I voted for him, he talks a lot. And he's boisterous and this third term thing. What evidence do we have? You've only worked 100 days. You've been in office 100 days. Have you done everything that you said you were going to do? What evidence do we have to even start talking about a third? Have you dislodged the entrenched bureaucrats, the deep state? Have they gone anywhere? Have you managed the leaks that are coming out of the DOD? No, none of it. Pam Bondi has done more interviews on Fox than basically anything else. I'd like to believe everything Kash Patel said. I read his book. Everything he said, I agreed with. But what are we doing? It's definitely, again, only 100 days. It's not indicative of a third term, that's for sure. And you had all these promises and you started out super strong. You had a mandate. Everyone is excited. Get rid of these people who are causing harm to our country. Take out the woke politics from everything. Nobody wanted that. Nobody. The pendulum swinged way too far left, and it was time to come back. And you had everyone. Your approval rating was high. It was right where you wanted, and you could have done something, but instead we just talk and talk and talk, and then just kind of do the opposite of most things that you promised. I mean, we're slowly seeing people. Susan Rice being doesn't have a job anymore, whoop-de-doo. But like Signalgate and Iran and bombing Yemen, why are we doing that? Tariffs, that was supposed to be the savior, right? We were supposed to save a bunch of money. You rolled them all back. Tell us why. I feel like they've just kind of centered on this immigration thing instead of the other things that are very important as well and should be just very easy to fix. I just feel like that should just like anybody who they should. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know exactly, but I'm just saying it should be very easy to fix the bureaucrat problem, or the deep state. It should be easy, and I don't understand why that's so difficult. It should be easy to quit funding or entertaining the ideas of bombing another Middle Eastern country, and I guess what this will do is move into the next topic, which is the Canadian election, still focusing a little bit on the US because it's the country that I live in and the country that I love. We have caused this. This is no one else's problem. This is not China's. This is not Russia's. This is not Canada's. We did this to ourselves. We allowed this to happen. And it's on our desk now to figure it out. And no one seems to want to, because they've enriched themselves to a point that helping the average American person is not on the ballot. And people also don't realize a lot of their local elections have a lot to do with this as well. But to say that it's Trump's fault, I heard yesterday the degradation of this country is because of Trump, and this person truly believes that he's making a totalitarian move. Like, what are you talking about? It's not just at the foot of Trump. It's everyone, including the voters who were duped. Now, I'm not saying we still have a lot of time. Maybe he'll do something. But as of right now, as it stands, everything he said has not come to fruition. And he had solid polling numbers. Everyone was like, let's get in there and let's hit it running. I mean, I remember the first week me and Scott were just talking about, listen, every single day he's doing something new. So it's like, okay, his numbers are going up because it's like, we're doing something. We're doing the things that we voted for, right? Had, what is his name? Steve, anyway, the guy, the gentleman that went to Israel to try to negotiate a truce or a ceasefire, and that was really neat to see. Okay, let's continue down this road. This is really awesome. This is what your base voted for. Your base voted for, basically, when they say "Make America Great Again," it's like, listen, we don't need to prop up a foreign government. We don't need any regime change wars anymore. We'd like to bring our people home. We need to enrich ourselves. We are quickly moving towards the cliff, and we will go off of it if something doesn't change. And if you believe that you're the person, then do it. Just, again, talk is cheap. Let's get on it. I still feel like he can, and he might. The last couple of weeks have gotten me a little less happy about how it's going. It just kind of seems like we're business as usual, which is just say enough stuff to keep the crowds from rioting. And this country has slowly slipped into it, and we blame people. We blame we blame the people who voted for Trump. We blame the people who voted for Biden. We we blame everything but like the people who really should be prosecuted. I mean, like Fauci is still out there walking around. The people that had everything to do with the Steele dossier and the Russia collusion hoax. Sure, some of them lost their security clearances. I'm sure they're just walking around. These people that lied us into war after war after war. Democracy was supposed to sweep the region in Iraq. Meanwhile, we're paying the Taliban piles of cash. The list just goes on. So for me, I'm giving him a D in just about everything, and an F on the idea currently of being a 3-term president. In his first 100 days. I will give 1 A plus. And let me state that is the border security. Bravo. That was something that almost everyone wanted. Anyway, moving towards the Canadian election, I have so many thoughts on that. Like I said, I just spoke to Cody, and he had voted. And I kind of asked him like what was the feeling there, and he said that he thought that the Liberals were going to win, and they did. And I asked why. He said that the media really has been compromised, and the only ads that they are running is about Trump. I think that's hilarious. They really took issue with the 51st state thing. How is he going to do that? Alberta's already thinking about leaving due to the terrible policies of Canada. There is a graph that I put on Facebook. It was a bar graph of the most important factors when deciding who to vote for. And that was with boomers. Now, mind you, boomers bought their houses for 64 wampum and have sold their homes for, an easy $1 million. They had jobs right out of high school. Some of them went to college and were able to be a guidance counselor for their entire life, and then retire and live and be retired for more years than they worked. And they were able to raise an entire family on one paycheck working at a factory or as a teacher. So now we're getting to the point where, your 401k is dropping. Now boomers seem to really care. So this graph shows the most important factors, again, when deciding to vote, and for boomers. 60 and over. Well, it's got 18 to 29, 30 to 44, 45 to 59, and 60 and over. So boomers. The number one reason they vote liberal and when deciding to vote is dealing with Donald Trump. Do you want to know the other ones that they don't find like the least important? If they making Canada a better place to live. The next one, the next lowest, making housing more affordable. The next one, let's see, the next one would be growing the economy. The next one, protecting public services. The next one, managing the federal budget and deficit and debt. Then the next one, which is still not even kind of close to the last one, reducing the cost of living. I might as well just share this. So what do you think was more important to 30 to 44? It's clear. And 45 to 50, everyone reduce the cost of living, right? 18 to 29 and 30 to 44. And even it's 18 to 59 do not think Donald Trump is a big deal. And to say that Donald Trump is the reason for your problems, which is kind of like what Cody had said, your government ran your country into the ground, just as ours has. And it's no one's fault but your own. And if you're scared because he said, we're going to go take Greenland and Canada's going to be the 51st state. How is he going to do that? How would we do that? Is it because your economy is not doing well? Why is it not doing well? Is it because of these crazy left-wing ideologies that are like basically poisoning this country? And that's the reason they've got so many problems. And then these boomers who do not care about the younger generation because they're so worried about, they just believe what's on the TV. Cody said there's only one news channel in Canada. That's craziness. That has been, that's just been captured by the left. This whole thing is nuts. It's a nutty theory. It's like smoking your whole life, then getting cancer, and then blaming your significant other for not making you quit. What are you talking about? You smoked your whole life. This is why this happened. It's not your wife, your partner, your parents. It's no one's fault but your own. And it seems like these politicians, all of them, not just the left, which that's a tough one for them to do right now, but every politician, left, right, anywhere, they cannot look in a mirror. I don't think they own any. And if they do own them, they don't see a reflection, partly because they sold their soul to the devil, in my opinion, but it's their fault. And then they're just pointing, all they do is point fingers away from them. You just got to point fingers away from you. Do not accept blame, do not accept responsibility, because the longer you're in office, the richer you get, and it's just this cycle. I am not concerned with Canada. In fact, we love Canadians. And according to Cody, Canadians love us. It's our politicians who are morons. So it's interesting to me to hear these debates where it's like, well, he said, he's threatening to make them the 50. Who cares? Why don't we take a look? Why doesn't Canada say, well, how would he possibly do that? And they're like, well, our economy, just say hypothetically, boy, there's a couple ways he could do that. Maybe we should fix that. But no, it's like, oh, we have to combat his words. He dropped the tariffs. All these politicians just do kind of the opposite of what they say. We have been sucked into countless terror wars. Our economy is in shambles. Our country, personally, the United States, is on fire, underwater. People are so divided for no reason except for politicians getting on and just being as baited as humanly possible, whether it's race, whether it's socioeconomic problems, whether it's foreign policy. Foreign policy, do not even get me started. No one, and we like to talk about experts here. I haven't even been there, but our foreign policy experts have just got it wrong for 25 years. Why are we still listening to these people? It's hard for folks to live. And now I just read an article that the average starter home, this is on Yahoo Finance, is around $1 million. Now, I'm sure that's because of Vladimir Putin, right? No, it's because of COVID policy and urban flight and mortgage rates being historically low. So everyone bought a home because they could stay home and make the same amount of money. Some of them were unemployed and making more money than they had ever been. Do you think they saved that money or paid their debt down? No, we all went out and bought stuff. So blaming your neighbor for your problems is dumb and doesn't get you anywhere. 99.9% of the time, and that's repeating, of course, it is you. It is our government. Our government has lied over and over and over again. And then I get called a conspiracy theorist sometimes for just like saying things that kind of are common sense. And the other problem with that is most of these conspiracies, they come true for whatever reason. And the reason is they're lying. The only way to prevent these things is to tell the truth. And these people are incapable of telling the truth. Incapable. Because if we did tell the truth, we wouldn't have gone to Iraq. There's reports that bin Laden was in Iran. We wouldn't be financing or funding the Taliban. We wouldn't be bombing Yemen because only 3% of our goods come through there. It's like we wouldn't have this border problem if they were like, just came out and said, listen, we're trying to swing the vote. But like they try to sneak it past us, like people aren't going to look at that and say, well, that's odd. Why is that happening? And then, people start to put two and two together and realize this is a big problem. Even Eric Adams, everything that I talk about, it's infuriating to me. Teachers getting paid bum salaries need a master's degree. Our kids can't read. I mean, just the level of education. These kids are the future of innovation. And now what they're watching is YouTube millionaires and all this other stuff. And it's just so worrisome that We are so entrenched with arguing with each other about the dumbest stuff and our politicians do that to us. They lie to just, and this is on every side. I know it's so difficult for some people to just understand that I don't have a side. I voted for Trump. I think he's doing a shitty job right now. I think he's talking a lot and doing nothing. Now, I'll be the first to admit that if he does shit the bed, hey, I got duped, right? That's fine. I'm willing to say that I am wrong, but it's not just Trump. The reason we're here is not just because of Trump. The reason we're talking about sex changes on children are not because of Trump. The reason we're talking about the deep state running this country is not just because of Trump. The reason we're talking about Iraq, Iran, Syria, Libya, for God's sakes. How many regime changes do we need to know that they do not want our democracy? And that's never why we do it. Ukraine, COVID, Operation Iraqi Freedom. I mean, the list just goes. Somalia, Palestine, Israel. I mean, the list just goes on. And we don't focus on us because we're the problem. It's just like an addict. An addict's like, the reason I'm shooting dope is because it's just hard to be with these people or whatever the reason is. And then you come to find out that it's you. And it's like we spend so much time being like, we need to go to Iran they're not even doing that anymore. They're just going bombing countries, by the way. They not even come to the American people and say, hey, listen, which is totally insane because I feel like they should have to go through Congress. I mean, doesn't Congress have to declare war before we go? I am through with playing these games where people come and if you want to debate me on these subjects, I'd love to hear it. I am open and willing to debate. I am open to admitting that I'm wrong if I am. I am open to arguing my point. I am not open to batting down straw men or non-arguments from everyone that comes to my social media, which I do chuckle about. I really appreciate you showing up. You don't make any sense. But feel free. I'm hoping all of this, I'm hoping just like Dave Smith did say, and a couple other folks, that I do eat my words. I hope Trump does great. I said the same thing about Biden, and I said the same thing about Trump 1, and I said the same thing about Obama, all of it. I hope he fixes what he said he's going to fix, because that would invigorate this country to realize, hey, politicians do keep their word about something. It is not looking that way. It is looking far different, and his numbers are dropping. And now he's on. I've seen it twice on social media. A third-term president. You can miss me until you do what you say you're going to do. We cannot continue as a country bombing other countries. We have to take care of our own folks. That's not racist. That's not any word that the left can use. That's none of it. It's just we have to take care of our own country before we can start helping other countries, which if we are in a position to do that, then we should. We are not in a position to help anyone except for our own citizens. It is crazy in my mind that a person that came into this country illegally should get legal rights. It is crazy to me that you don't have ID laws when voting. That's crazy. It's crazy to me that you rolled back the tariffs. It's crazy that you get mad at Amazon for putting how much the tariffs are going to change the price of everything. Let them do it. Like, it's like, at least it gives us a reason. We're supposed to hold you accountable. We're supposed to hold your feet to the fire. You're not immune from this. You're not immune from ridicule. When you do something wrong, your base, which thank God is not like the woke left. I mean, some of it is. Let's be honest. Like the far right MAGA people are insane. But what I'm saying is the vast majority of people who voted for you don't like this shit. We want the deep state gone. We want the foreign wars done with. We want to start taking care of our own country. I don't understand the problem with that. And we just cannot. It's something about going into that White House. They become these. I mean, think about Obama. Excuse me. Obama closed out. He wanted to bring people home from Afghanistan and close Gitmo. What did he do? He had to reinvade Iraq. Nothing he said happened. In fact, it doubled. So again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to debate anyone about these specific topics. I think it's crazy. Again, lastly, here's my final thought, and we will end with this. I've said this a bazillion times this episode, and I'm going to say it again for the people in the way back. You know who you are, one of you's from Ohio. It is not our responsibility to change Canadian politics, and it's not Canada's job to change ours. It's our job to do that. It's our government's job to help its people. If it should exist at all, it's the only reason it's there to exist. And to blame someone else for the position we are in is wild. And so, Canada, I'm very sorry that this happened to you. I'm very sorry that you had to deal with another crazy super left person that, according to a lot of people, is just an elitist and wasn't even in the country for quite some time. Was the governor of the Bank of England, I think it was, or the whatever the title is. They've got a mess of their own to deal with, and it isn't because of Trump. But boomers believe so because they listen to state-run media. Do your own research. Talk to people. If you have an argument, argue that point. Don't shame. Don't put people down. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just saying. We need open and public debate about this, and I feel like a lot more people are on the same side of this than you would believe. I think the left is still completely confused and baffled by any of this. The far left, which is mainstream media, which is, I mean, they are really in the tube. They are down 500,000 in prime time. That's bad. Those are bad numbers. And I see it a lot on my Facebook. I see a lot of people that don't really have any clue what they're talking about. Or actually, not that they don't know what they're talking about. They have no argument. It's just a blanket statement with nothing. They just, one guy told me I should buy a MAGA hat already. Thank you for coming by and telling me to purchase a MAGA hat. Nothing you say makes sense and doesn't attack my argument. It just makes you look like a fool. So with that, Trump's 100 days, kind of a boo-boo failure, except for the border. Canada, stay strong. We're down here for you. Sorry it turned out that way. Sorry, boomers that made all their money off of your back pretty much, and are been living basically rent-free for the last 60 years. Don't care about you. They don't care about the average Canadian. They don't care. And that graph just shows it. And that's wild. And I'm sorry that is happening to you. Hopefully you guys can do something about it. Anyway, have a good one. See you next week.